days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. The 49ers have defeated the Los Angeles Rams 31 to 10. Oh, sorry. The 38 number, that's what I was predicting all week. Just in my head. I was scoffed at. I was ridiculed, Alex. And yet I am feeling very vindicated right now.
I mean, this whole channel is feeling vindicated right now. And from me to you to the Cutback crew.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been one of the few podcasts out there, 49ers podcasts out there. There have been some. I'm not going to take it away from some of the platforms out there have been saying this.
Yeah.
But we've been one of the few ones who've been on this train with this team that, hey, they've been in every game. They've been close in every game. It's been an execution issue. It's been a problem of guys doing things at the wrong times, guys not making plays when we know they can. This team is talented, right? They're talented. And it's all about putting it together. And today they did. They put it together. They took care of business. And Megan with the 1999 Super Chat, that 49ers win, baby. 100% indeed. And Caleb, you are correct, man. To quote the great Ric Flair, woo! That is absolutely fantastic.
We are styling and profiling after this.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Donald has forgotten who Deebo Samuel is again. Yeah, it's exciting. This was a fun game to watch overall. The 49ers defense shows up in a big way. Matthew Stafford looked a lot like Jared Goff in this football game. Mm-hmm. He made pivotal mistakes. Them trying to force Odell Beckham Jr. on the field is like we talked about in the game plan video. Forcing the ball to Odell Beckham is not always a good situation. That has proven to be something that we saw here. He broke off a route early in the game. Stafford threw it deep. That's not really a Stafford issue. That's more of an Odell Beckham communication issue. And they turned it over. And that was a big turnover in the game. But what was even more pivotal was the fact the 49ers went 18 plays, 93 yards, and converted a touchdown on that opening drive.
Correct.
Took 11 minutes off the clock. It set the tone for the entire game. Turnover on defense, complete execution on offense, fantastic first drive, and it set the tone for the game and got the 49ers on the right path. So,
absolutely.
Hey, Jay Ellie, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Re-upping the membership, my guy. Woo, indeed. Chauncey just asked, what's the playoff picture looking like now?
We're in the 7th seed.
Yeah, we are currently seventh. Tied for 7th.
Yeah.
So I mean,
one game behind 6th.
One game out of 6. And now, right? You've put yourself in a position where, in theory, technically, you're 2 games back of the Rams, who are now sitting with 3 losses on the schedule. You're 2 games back of what would be that 5th spot. 49ers are completely in control of their own destiny at this point in time, at this moment. This is what we kept talking about. You needed to win one of the next 2, Ant. Last week was the easy one to win with a depleted Arizona team. It was the easy one for you to get. But the Arizona Cardinals came up with a good game plan. They executed. The 49ers did not. They shot themselves in the foot. And so they went back to the drawing board. They looked at themselves and said, hey, we've taken it to the Rams the last few times that we've played them. We're 4-0 in the last 4 games against them. Let's just take a deep breath. Let's buckle in and let's do what we've done to them every single time for the last 2 seasons. Let's handle our business. Niners are now 5-0 against McVay. Kyle Shanahan is 5-0 in his last 5 games against Sean McVay. The Rams are reeling a little bit. The injury to Robert Woods was a big part in what happened tonight.
And that's unfortunate. Robert Woods is a great person, great player.
Absolutely.
And I never want to see anyone get hurt. But it was pivotal for the 49ers because it did change the way they were able to scheme it up a little bit. You know, not having to worry about Robert Woods' skills. You saw Skoranek, even though ESPN absolutely annihilates his name. Skoranek had some opportunities, to catch the ball, but being that extra receiver, he's just not there. And Van Jefferson's a good player, and he made some plays in this game. But you could tell Stafford was a little off, and we talked about this in the game plan video and in our all 22 film breakdown of the Rams. Is if you got him in some sort of a movement, he would struggle. He would airmail the ball. It was very Jimmy Garoppolo-esque when Jimmy's struggling a little bit. He'll airmail those footballs. But Jimmy Garoppolo didn't airmail very many footballs today. He was on target. He was hitting on all cylinders. At one point, I believe he was like 11 of 11 before he threw that ball to George Kittle's feet on the potential screen pass. But this was a 49ers blueprint victory, dominate on the ground. I think at one point it was 18 straight first down plays that they ran the ball on. That was literally Sean McVay. You know what we're gonna do.
Do something
and you
about
can't stop it.
Do something about it.
I was waiting for Kyle at one point just to be like, look on the sidelines, be like, all right, same play, just run it again.
Go it again.
That's kind of what it was going to. So it was a nice victory. Tom Compton was able to hold it down once Jalen Moore went off. I'm guessing with some sort of a leg issue. I saw him on the stationary bike. But hey, you know what the good news is? They were able to handle business. Jimmy Garoppolo was under pressure a little bit, but they were getting rid of the ball really quick. It was nice.
Everything was schemed tonight to get the ball out quick to take their strength off the field for the Rams, which was the pass rush. And Megan brought it up. She just talked about, can we talk about how much we missed Jeff Wilson Jr. in the aggressive running? It was absolutely huge tonight. He didn't have the 10 carries for 64 yards and a tutty that Jay Hill was talking about this morning on Faceoff. But he did do exactly what I wanted him to do.
Do you know what his numbers were?
I don't know what his exact numbers were, but he had to have had close to 30 or 40 yards. It was probably close to 10 touches. It probably truly was. But this is what I wanted from Jeff Wilson. I wanted him to be a guy who was getting 3 to 4 yards a chunk, was really pushing and moving the sticks. But every time he touched the ball on 3rd and short, he bullied through somebody for a first down. It's exactly what this team needed. It's the injection in this run game that we've absolutely been missing. Anyone who watched this game tonight and went, hey, Trey Sermon can do those things, Trey Sermon cannot do what we just saw from Jeff Wilson.
Not at this point in his career.
No.
I mean, Trey Sermon might develop into those things. I think that's what they're hoping. But what you saw was now you didn't lose anything, right? When Elijah came off the field to stay fresh, Jeff Wilson Jr. could do everything Elijah Mitchell could do, and vice versa. The one thing that you see a little bit from Elijah Mitchell that Jeff doesn't have is that top-end speed. So the sweeps and things are a little more dynamic. But they used Jeff Wilson Jr. in the blocking game as well. He was playing wing as Deebo Samuel lined up in the backfield. You alluded to this during the week. Maybe we're going to get some Deebo backfield action. We did get that, and it was big in that game. That touchdown run that Deebo has, the vision on his part to see the cutback lane. Cutback, right? He runs up, he presses the line of scrimmage, sees the cutback and gets there, switches the ball across in perfect technique, and is able to stiff arm to get into the end zone. Done.
That stiff arm is what sets that up because he keeps that guy from getting in and around his legs and tripping him up. He creates just enough separation to break that tackle. Deebo was just phenomenal all night long. And I'm seeing a lot of people talking about a lot of different things, from Chauncey talking about where were these game plans all year.
They were there.
Felt like 2019 49ers. Chauncey, if you've been on Patreon, if you've been here on this channel from the start of the season till right now, we've been saying this consistently all season. It's not play calling. It's not Kyle Shanahan. It's execution. Now, whether or not you want to get upset about Kyle for not getting his guys to execute or him putting him in positions where maybe they can't execute, that's fine. But all season long, the Niners have had these opportunities, these games, these opportunities, these situations to do exactly what they did tonight. Move the sticks, long sustaining drives, keeping the opposing team off the field, keep your defense fresh, keep them healthy, having opportunities to create turnovers and not capitalizing. All of these things have been here all year long. Game in, game out, these had these opportunities, these had these situations, and sometimes things did not bounce their way, and Caleb just upped his membership as well. Thank you, my guy. Month number 3 for him. What did I just miss?
Niner Nick, the 49ers had one good game. One good game. I love that.
I mean, look, it's one of those things where this is something that we've known could happen and was possible for this team, and he did what he needed to do.
I'm sorry, I'm responding to a comment. Just go ahead. I'm not responding to you.
The 49ers had one good game. One good game. I love it. I love it, man. Jimmy G played a great game, managed the game perfect. He did what he needed to do tonight. When he was asked to throw the football downfield, he threw it. He found guys in the seams. The throws over the middle of the field were phenomenal, the tight window stuff.
And can we get past the Jimmy G can't get it done thing?
He just got it done tonight.
That throw to Deebo Samuel on the touchdown. There are not very many quarterbacks in this league that can make that throw. The elite release is the reason he's able to get the ball between 3 defenders.
How about the big third down to completion to Deebo, where Deebo's coming through underneath, and there's literally no separation.
Yeah.
When Deebo is coming around on that curl, there is no separation. Jimmy throws it in a tight window, wide open, with the safety screaming downhill, and he throws it low.
Oh, yeah.
In the perfect spot.
And I'm going to clarify. Now, I'm not saying Jimmy G is Aaron Rodgers or one of those elite quarterbacks.
True.
What I'm saying is, can he do enough for this team to win football games?
100%.
100%.
100%.
That's one of the things. You use his skill set. Some of the reads that he made, finding George Kittle, the throw on the touchdown pass to George Kittle as well. What a great throw that was. And George Kittle went up and got it. Deebo and George Kittle came up in a big way. It was nice to see Brandon Ayuk get involved as well in certain situations. And we didn't see a whole lot of Jalen Ramsey. And in fact, when we did see Jalen Ramsey, he was covering Jawan Jennings.
It's true. It's very accurate. And look, Darwin Gonzalez, he had great protection. He did. But
he did.
There's other games like the last week where he didn't have great protection and he threw for 300-plus yards and he wasn't the reason why the 49ers lost. Did he miss some throws against the Cardinals? 100%. Absolutely, he did.
Yeah.
He also made some throws. He also got the 49ers down the field into Arizona territory plenty of times. The 49ers would fumble, penalties, wrong time, wrong situation, put themselves in third and long, second and longs. When you're doing that kind of stuff, you're just making it extremely difficult.
I'm curious what the time is going to be when we find out what Jimmy's time was from the time he got the ball to the time he got it out.
3.5.
That's part of the reason he had good protection, because he's able to get the ball out so quickly, and his receivers are able to win. That's the thing. If you have receivers that are able to win those matchups and take advantage of those matchups, but it's also recognition, right? The very first third down conversion, George Kittle is on Leonard, and he goes right out, beats him. You got to recognize the matchup. You got to understand it. You get the ball out really quick. So that's nice. It's complementary football. The offensive line played well. Jimmy played well. The receivers played well. It works together.
And the Aaron Donald stopper, Daniel Brunskill, shows up again versus the Rams. Aaron freaking Donald hates San Francisco. He has to hate Daniel Brunskill. Daniel Brunskill, we got to find a way to get this dude to dial in and focus like this each and every week, because when he was one-on-one with Aaron Donald, he consistently won enough. He doesn't dominate Donald, but Donald is not. We saw him against the Titans. We saw the terror he was with that arm over move. We saw the terror he was with the bull rush, the way he gets off the line. There were a handful of plays tonight, maybe, where Donald had solidly won. In space. It was every other snap against the Tennessee Titans on film. Like literally every other snap, Donald is flying through into the backfield. Dude, Daniel Brunskill, what is your deal? But thank you.
Yeah, I think Coach Forster needs to go up to him and be like, okay, I need you to visualize an attack. Visualize an attack. You need him to see Aaron Donald every single time.
Oh, man.
I mean, because I
don't get it. Aaron Donald is the best in the game right now.
They moved Donald, right? The run game's dominating. They moved Donald outside onto Jalen Moore, and Moore does Moore gets arm over and blows up the play.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald's special, and for some reason, the skill set that Daniel Brunskill has, he plays well against Aaron Donald. He's not a stopper because Aaron Donald is just Aaron Donald, but he definitely can hold him down big time.
Darwin, I disagree with you on this. The only real tough game left is the Titans. Every game for the 49ers at this point is a tough game because the 49ers have not shown they are a team right now that consistently executes.
Yeah.
I think this is the start. You and I talked about this all week. Second half of the season, right? You're 0-0. You turn the page. You forget about the pass.
You're 1-0.
Well, you're now 1-0. You're right, Ed. But you turn the page. You forget about the pass, and you find a way to move on and look at what you have in front of you, which is a favorable schedule.
Yeah.
And a chance to correct and fix your mistakes. But every game for the 49ers, you have to have this mentality. Any loss at this point of the season can end your playoff run. It can end your hopes at the playoffs and end your hopes at getting yourselves into the dance. You have to just stay focused. You have to bring your A game out each and every week, and you have to bring it. You have to bring it to the table.
A couple of things. Number one, I think that Darwin is saying that the winnable, right? The Titans is the one maybe that's not as much winnable. I'm not 100%, but I think that's what he's saying is that now you can look at these games and the 49ers stick to this formula they can win. Also, shout out to my guy Nico for the he's a dude.
Debo is a dude.
When we coached, we had a coach that said, "Man, we need dudes. We need dudes." And Debo is an absolute dude. I also want to shout out Caden, who went to his first football game today. 6 years old. He got to go to the Niners game, and he really enjoyed it, I'm sure, and got a big win. He went with a bunch of Rams fans, so that must have been fun.
He's gonna be enjoying it. That's 100% true. And yeah, Darwin, if that's what you meant, then you're right, 100%. Every game this point out the rest of the season is winnable. Luke Luna with the $5 super chat. Where's Antonio with that little D energy now? Oh, that's right. Nothing to cheer for. Stay faithful. Stay golden. Sorry, I had to. No one faults you there, hey, Luke.
Luke, I know where Antonio is. He's over on Patreon on Big Yikes.
Yeah, he is on Big Yikes this week.
He's a resident there.
He's a resident on Big Yikes. Y'all know he's over with one of the other ones yelling at that mean ocean right now.
100%.
If you played Trey, you would have won 72-7.
No, he's upset. Now we're not going to see Trey in time.
Absolutely. Someone had asked earlier, too, about Bosa. Brad, how many sacks should Bosa have had if they bothered to call holding until the very end? 1,000.
Well, apparently it's not a hold, right? It's called a hook.
Oh yeah.
That's what he's hooking him.
Did you see the Samson Ebukam one when it's the DJ Jones one where DJ Jones gets the roughing the passer call at the end?
Oh,
DJ
you're talking
Jones,
about Street.
Is it no? Street is the one that dives down, but Ebukam is just off to the left as Street's falling, getting hugged again for the second straight week on a play. It's absolutely incredible. The sheer lack of holding calls. 49ers fans just get used to it.
Let's not go to the O-line without Mike McGlinchey comment. No.
Oh Lord, yeah, please don't.
Did they play good tonight? Yes. Tom Compton caught a lot of flack over the week. I want to break the all-22 film down, but it seems like he did a decent enough job today.
Yes.
So Tom Compton is at least serviceable. It doesn't mean he's going to be able to continually dominate or place, but there were times he got movement in the run game. So I think we can at least feel confident now. We kind of talked about Chris Forster's going to step up, the coach, and make sure that these offensive linemen got it together. He got Jalen Moore ready to play right tackle. Something happened there, but Compton went in and was serviceable. So some of the criticism that Kyle was catching for Tom Compton being on the roster maybe aren't warranted. I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment because it's only one game.
It is just one game.
But we watched the all-22 from last week, and it seemed Compton's technique was right. Just execution at some points weren't as good, but that execution seems to be a little bit better today.
Agreed. And Brad, I wonder if Steve Young saw enough dogs tonight. Yeah, because he had 33 of them out there. Special teams.
Yeah.
Dude, DJ Jones on the field goal. I knew that was coming too. I could sense the fake field goal.
Do you think Jerry was just over there jealous as he saw Randy Moss running and catching routes from Steve Young?
Maybe a little bit.
And just wanted to turn into a dog and go get it, you know. The dog's comment is stupid, but I mean, it's whatever. It's whatever. I mean, yeah, there were dogs all over the field. The 49ers were flying around everywhere. saying with the $5 super chat. So, are we gonna have a special post W Big Yikes episode?
I would say there's a good chance.
There's a possibility there's going to be some yikes out there.
There's definitely some possibility for some yikes, and if there are some yikes, you know exactly where to be, which is right over on Patreon. It's the pinned comment in the comment section. So if you're like, what are these guys talking about with Patreon, you got big yikes. You got 49ers cutback in times, which are supposed to start up again this week. So you get excited about that, as well as right, all 22 film breakdowns. Madden Cutback League, which videos go live this week. In fact, tomorrow morning, the very first games from week 1 go up, as well as some week 2 games. So, I mean, there's a lot of great things over on Patreon. What is it here? Shooters here. It's always easier for the O-line when you get to a big league like they did tonight.
Bingo.
100%.
Well, and also when you're playing downhill. When you get a run game going, this is why this would have been a great game for McGlinchey as well. Anytime that you get the run game going and you get established, and as an offensive lineman, you're moving forward and you're playing in positive, situations and positive down and distance, you're going to be able to execute at a high level. And the 49ers were able to do that today. I mean, even most of their third downs were third, and I think they said at one point was it 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4. That is what you're looking to do. Those are the situations you want to be in. They got into those situations. They went ahead and took advantage of it. So yeah, that's always a positive situation for the 49ers, especially the way they get linemen. Their linemen aren't made to drop back. For you to drop back 30 or 40 times in a football game. No. They're made for you to run the ball 35 to 40 times in a football game.
Absolutely.
And if you're able to do that, you're not only going to dominate the game, but you're going to put those guys in a good situation to be successful, and also for Jimmy Garoppolo to be the best quarterback that he could be.
100%. Defenses will stop the generational talent on Sunday. Too bad it won't be Trey versus Lawrence. I know 49ers fans want Trey Lance in. I get it. I completely understand. When he is ready, his time will come. His time will come when he's ready. Yeah. And that could be 2 weeks from now. It could be a week from now. You don't know when that moment is going to be where things click and Kyle feels like he can make the turn and go to the guy. But right now, this is Jimmy's team. Right now, Jimmy is holding it down. The last 3 weeks have been phenomenal.
With the performance that Jimmy Garoppolo put together today, it was different from the last two, because the last two, he was delivering the football and had to throw for over 300 yards. Today, he managed the game and took care of the business the way he needed to take care of it. There's no way he's going to Trey Lance next week.
Not
or
next
the week
week.
After,
No.
Or the week after that. They're in the middle of the playoff hunt. Trey Lance, the talk was that he took a step back. The reason is just Trey has been, he was dynamic in training camp for moments, and then he had lulls. But the guy's a great player. He's going to develop, and next year is going to be Trey's year, or this year is going to be Jimmy's year, as long as they're involved in the playoffs. If they're not going to be in the playoff hunt, we all know Trey Lance will take over at that point and get reps and get prepared for next year. But I want my team relevant. I want my team involved in possible playoffs. And right now, sitting there in a tie for 7th, I feel pretty comfortable with the prospects for them this year. So I like it, especially with us playing Jacksonville next week.
100%. Extremely winnable football game next week. Chauncey asked, what was the top stats for the night? So Jimmy was 15-19 for a $182 and 2 tutties. A 152.6 QBR, Ant. Stick that in your pipe and smoke.
That's pretty close.
That's almost
pretty
perfect.
Close to perfect.
It's almost perfect.
Yeah, that's really good.
Elijah Mitchell goes 27 carries for 91 yards, 3.4 yards a carry. Deebo Samuel 5 for 36 at 7.2, and Google has him as Jeffrey Wilson.
Okay, Jeffrey Wilson.
Jeffrey
Jr.
Wilson with 10 carries for 28. Deebo 5 for 97. Kittle 5 for 50, and Ayuk 3 for 26.
Yeah, I mean that sounds about right. And the kind of game that they were going to go out there and execute. And some of those numbers are going to get skewed by the way the 49ers played that second half, the run game, where they knew the Rams were loading up, but they went ahead and ran the ball because they were trying to use the Rams timeouts. They were trying to, just keep moving the clock down, because they're really just trying to win this football game. They know they had it won. They were up, over 3 scores. I think it was 4 scores at one point. So it's just like nothing to worry about. So some of those running back numbers are going to be a little bit skewed on the amount of carries and yardage.
True. Chauncey, time of possession is what he meant. 39, almost 40 minutes for the 49ers.
POP, yeah.
Yeah, almost 40 minutes for the 49ers, 21 for the Rams. So, I mean, yeah, he almost doubled.
And that's why you got a fresh defense in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely.
Fresh defense, they're able to fly around, make the tackles underneath, and then get the stops when they had to. Well, the defense showed up in a big way today. We've had a lot of criticism of Norman. Norman played well. Emmanuel Mosley should have had like 2 interceptions. Yes. To be honest, the first one that he doesn't intercept, in hindsight, now that I've seen what happened, I'm glad he didn't intercept it because Jimmy Ward gets it in pick 6. So it all works out. But Hufanga had that one. He almost had an interception when he closed on the route and just destroyed the guy.
Yeah.
These guys were flying all over. This defense looked hyped. Looked like 11 dogs playing defense today. So Steve Young, if you're looking for the dogs, they're out there.
There's plenty. Shocking, Anthony.
Yeah.
Shocking. Darwin asked, do you think if they would have drafted any other QB, they would have started? No.
You mean of this draft class?
I think he means of this draft class. The only one that has the only one that I think they would have maybe thought about would have been Mac Jones. But if you had done that, if you were the 49ers, you weren't moving up to 3 to get Mac.
Well, if you have Jimmy Garoppolo, because Jimmy Garoppolo is a better version of Mac Jones right now.
Correct.
Mac Jones in a year you would have went with that, but I don't think so.
I don't think there's not. I don't believe. I think the only quarterbacks that you and I both thought the Niners would have tried to roll the dice with this year were a Trevor Lawrence or a Zach Wilson.
Yeah, and I don't think they would have started Zach if they had Jimmy Garoppolo.
I agreed with you there.
The Trevor Lawrence one, I'm not sure. I had an idea that Trevor Lawrence was going to need some development. He's definitely learning on the fly. But I think in a perfect world, Trevor would have been 10, 12 games into the season before he came in. I think that's kind of the hot spot. So I actually think this is kind of a normal Kyle Shanahan plan. He saw what happened with RG3. He saw that RG3 had all those struggles and things. And, RG3 played well. But looking back on it, I mean, it put a lot of stress on his body because they had to use his physical gifts, and he wasn't able to, be a complete quarterback. He had to go out there and kind of, rely on his legs and things. And when that happens, you can get hurt. So the 49ers organization made an investment in Trey Lance, and now they're making sure that investment's going to be able, to be very successful in the future, and he's going to benefit this franchise. And I think as an owner and as a front office, I'd be excited about that. Okay, he's not ready. Let's not put him in a situation where he's going to get hurt or he's going to hurt the football team, and we'll wait and we'll pay. It'll pay dividends in the long run.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's the mindset. That's the plan. They went to Jed York and asked him, hey, can we sit on Jimmy Garoppolo's contract this year? They did that for a reason. That reason was to be able to roll with Jimmy and whatever young quarterback that you had, so they had time to sit and learn and no pressure for them to go in and play right away with a team that is everyone before the season thought was Super Bowl caliber Super Bowl ready. They didn't start the season off that way, but this is a new half of the season. This is a new team. We saw it tonight, right? We saw the momentary flash of brightness that we all thought this team could be all season long up to this point. Maybe they found it now. Maybe that's that, or it's a one-off thing and we go back to more of the same. There are a lot of people who feel that way. You want to
hear the power of positivity, Alex?
100% I do.
We've won 2 of the last 3.
Yes, we have.
That's pretty good. You know what I mean?
Oh,
we're on a roll there. I did see a question. Brad Jones had a great question. Does Hart get back in to replace Huff? I don't know if Fonga's playing pretty good.
Hey, when Talanoa, we said this last week, he struggled a little bit last week. It wasn't like
it wasn't bad at all.
It wasn't bad.
No.
But it wasn't what we saw against the Bears. Jimmy Ward gets inserted back into the lineup, and Talanoa Hufanga goes back to playing that high-level football that we saw against the Chicago Bears, and everyone was like, oh, man, this kid's special. This kid can do it. That pairing right now is really good.
Well, what it does, and this is why I think Jaquiski Tartt does come back and play, is because Jimmy Ward is out there, Jimmy Ward plays in the slot. Jimmy Ward plays man-to-man coverage, so it helps define the roles for Talanoa Hufanga. There's less thinking, so he's able to just go out there and operate and go and play with his talents that he has. So I think Tart is coming in because when you have Tart and Ward together, they play left and right safety better than anyone in the league.
Correct.
Because they can come back and forth, they can play in the box. Just so many roles, there's so many things you can do with him. I think Talanoa Hufanga is going to be that type of player, but he's not quite there yet. He's still developing. But if Tart isn't in, we can roll with Hufanga and win football games. He's that good.
Yes.
He's just not Tart level yet. But that's just him, understanding concepts, route concepts, everything, mental part of it. Because physically, once he doesn't have to think and everything is just happening reactionary and he's able to trust his instincts, he's going to be flying around making all kinds of plays.
I like that, Ant. Chauncey had said, will D Ford be back or Tart? I'm assuming Dre is going to replace Alshair in a few games. When Dre is ready, he is going to immediately insert himself back into that role, and it's going to help Fred Warner out a butt ton when that happens, because Fred is going to be able to go back into the box where he operates the best rather than having to play outside at times and then come back in on run fits as well. D Ford's got another game, maybe two before his window officially can be opened.
Yeah, we have no idea when he's going to come back, but D won't come back in that role. Ebukam is going to be your base 4-3 defensive end now.
100%.
He's going to be playing the most snaps. When you'll see D Ford come in is on the obvious pass downs again, second and really long, third and third down situations. D Ford would come in those, but I don't know if it's going to be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We just don't know with that back. It's whenever it quiets down.
Agreed. Darwin said Trey Sermon needs reps. James Vega, not too long after that. Trey Sermon will get his chance next season.
Trey Sermon gets reps. It's called practice. That is where he's getting his reps, and he's not showing enough in practice, putting enough on tape in front of these coaches to show that he needs to be on the field taking snaps, because Jeff Wilson Jr. came off the injury list and went in and played a pretty defined role. Until Trey Sermon is able to prove that he is at that level of being better than than Jeff Wilson Jr., he's not going to get those snaps. The fact that John Lynch said he was going to play this week and then Kyle Shanahan didn't play him means that the front office is hoping there's development there, and Kyle Shanahan saying no, there's not. It's not to that point yet. And I think we need to learn to enjoy this two-headed monster, because we had two backs that could both get it done at a good clip today, and having those guys both run in there and they can do it all. They can catch the ball in the backfield, they can run, they can block. That's a good situation. And Trey Sermon fair catching on the kickoff return shows you everything you need to know about them believing Trey Sermon can do something with the football in his hands at this point in his rookie career.
They are not there with Trey Sermon, and I don't necessarily blame him, because we've watched the film and there's not a whole lot there to write home about. Raymond here, I love the faithfulness. Everybody was giving up on Garoppolo. He's a good player. He's going to win a Super Bowl. I'm telling you, this year, and they'll be able to get another one. And another one, I think, in the picture is what he's talking about. I like the faithfulness there from that gentleman. Keeping it faithful, and to the nth degree. James Vega, the stadium was rocking tonight. It was. All the people calling for an empty Levi's, no one to show up. Not there, Ant. The faithful. I liked it. The faithful showed up tonight.
And I think the 49ers got it going early. that turnover by Jimmy Ward got the crowd into it, and then that initial drive, it does set a tone. That run game, when it gets going, like it did against Minnesota and Green Bay in 2019, and how it did in this game, the crowd starts building on that. You get like this slow build, and that anticipation builds, and then when they actually put it in the end zone, the 49ers faithful showed up in a big way today, and good up for them. It's good to see that we have, fans that are going to continue to go out there and root for their team, that aren't ready to, chalk it up to a bad season, but supporting their guys, and I think that's big.
Absolutely. It's huge. Griffin, Fred showed why he's most def a dog tonight. He's been showing it all season.
Yeah, he's a dog. I don't get the call out unless John Lynch is doing some Bill Walsh calling him out to call out the rest of the team. I don't understand it, because his film is fantastic.
Correct. His film has been phenomenal. He's been asked to play outside playing in coverage.
So safety.
Not safety. But, definitely out in space, covering bubble screens, covering quick screens, flats, things of that nature, and still being asked to come in on run fits on the interior.
But he didn't have to today. Jimmy Ward was back.
Absolutely.
So Jimmy Ward took over that role, and he didn't have to do that anymore. And that's encouraging. That's good for this defense. Mm-hmm. He was covering for people. We kept saying it. Fred Warner's out there covering for people and still trying to do his job. The dude's good. I mean, he's real good.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Shooter with the $4.99 super chat. Keep it up. 49ers need to keep this up.
True.
Griffin Marks, you talking about practice, man? Not a game. not a game that I live and die for.
Yeah, I'm talking about practice. I was a coach. Practice is important.
Practice makes perfect.
If you get practice, if you do the things right in practice, they will carry over to the game. There's a reason when we used to play games, the other coach would come to us and say, how is your team so disciplined on the field? Because we practiced it, and we practiced it like we were going to play. We put 100%. And then I seen Mark Graves, you should be happy. Ayuk, all fair catches tonight. Yes, he did not let the ball hit the ground. That is a big win.
Flying up, fair catching.
Fantastic. And you know what? I'm good with this Ayuk. I'm good with this guy catching the ball. If he's going to secure, then I like him as a returner. If he's going to let the ball hit the ground, I get worried about it.
James Vega, I need to go to bed, but I just can't.
Yeah.
Feel you there, man. The adrenaline is flowing. Is absolutely flowing. Was there any information on the Jalen Hurd release? There was no more additional information other than, oh boy almighty.
Yeah.
Other than what Kyle Shanahan, he had some comments essentially saying that they realized he wasn't going to come back this year, that they just needed to move on.
Yeah, I mean, they're really not addressing it. They're just leaving it out there and nothing. There's been no word on Jalen Hurd. Have you heard anything else?
Nope.
It's basically like, nope. So I don't know. I don't know. I didn't hear anything from his agent. I didn't hear anything from him. I didn't hear anything from the organization beyond just that they released him.
Kyle said just going into a fourth year in a row of this is just too much of a risk for our organization. We have to move on.
Okay.
That's what he's saying. I think they were hoping that this wasn't going to be a thing that lasted all season, that this wasn't going to be a thing that was going to last into this offseason. And because it was trending that way and Kyle came out and said they didn't look like they were going to get him back, they're basically just like, at this point, it's too much. It's just too little too late, and they're just going to basically say bye and move on and go a different direction.
Fair enough. I mean, if that's the decision they made, they came to it, then that's fine. And that's why there's no movement on any front of any teams being interested in him either. He is actually still injured. Wow. Dude just can't get healthy.
Nico, you're not wrong. It really does grind ants' gears. It really does.
Yep. I can't stand it.
It really grinds my gears when you can't. You have one job, Brandon Ayuk. One job. Get under the ball, fair catch it.
Well, I mean, you have situations where it bounces into a player, right? And it can cause a turnover. You can also, the ball normally spins, you lose yardage.
Hold on.
Position.
You mean to tell me that punters punt balls specifically, strategically, drop in different ways, kick with different types of spin to try and get the ball to do specific types of things off the bounce?
Yes.
Stunned, absolutely stunned.
So, 100%.
Someone who spent a lot of time studying punting and working on punting in high school, shocked by this.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating when that happens, but since he's started securing the ball, I'm very happy with him as a returner. So
James Vega, I love it. IG haters are drowning in the 49ers. Great. It's absolutely phenomenal. Oh, it's good stuff, man. It's absolutely solid. Jalen Hurd is a lost hope. It looked really good in the preseason his first year. He looked solid this preseason too.
Yeah, he did. When the one game he played, he looked pretty good. We saw him in practice too.
He was looking great.
He had one stretch where he caught like 3 balls in a row, and it was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, what could have been potential?
Tommy Christian said, if Hurd gets healthy, do you see him coming back? Define healthy for Jalen Hurd is really what it comes down to.
That honestly, I have no idea. I mean, maybe. I mean, I never say never. I mean, when Kyle gets his guys, like he does have guys that like he really, but he would have to prove, he'd have to come in and at flying colors. That medical staff would have to be, say he's clear. I honestly don't know.
It's too much up. It's too up in the air. It truly is. It's too much.
And it sounds like it won't be anything until the off season, which is crazy.
It's true. Where's all the cut Robbie Gold calls now? We are all traumatized by bad punt returns. The swag with that 50-yard field goal. Really was. The swag was on point.
Did you like the way that the ESPN was like, oh, and it cleared the crossbar by a lot? Because it didn't clear it by a whole lot. No. Like, it would have been good from like 53, 54. But I mean, in the same regard, he doesn't have to put all of his leg into it.
And he didn't. He did not put all his leg into that one. He truly did not.
But you know what? If like we said, if he's gonna make 50 to 55-yard field goals,
done. Solid.
I'm all day.
Consistent.
Let's do that.
It was consistent all night too. All of his kicks came off his foot in a very similar fashion. They all had similar trajectories.
Yeah.
I never once never once saw a kick him off his foot and was like, every time he kicked the ball, I was like, okay, not nice.
Yeah, I'm good with it. If he's locked in, I'm happy with Robbie Gould. And I know what his distance is, so I just need to make sure I get it to that spot.
Darwin Gonzalez, Vernon Davis, or Kittle?
George Kittle.
Every day.
Better blocker. I mean, when it comes to Vernon Davis was a very talented player. I mean, that speed was ridiculous. He was able to stretch the field. He made a lot of big plays for the 49ers. But as a complete tight end, I'm going George Kittle.
All day.
But But Vernon Davis was very good for the 49ers, and I'll never say a bad thing about him. He made big plays, and he's one of the best tight ends to ever play in San Francisco.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Asking Kittle or Vernon Davis is like, asking you want,
Well, though, there's been a conversation about it this week.
I'm aware that there's been a conversation, but there's no, I'm not going to sit there and say there's a wrong answer. There really isn't. It's both guys did different things for your offense.
Well, I mean, the thing with Vernon, he stayed a little bit more healthy than George.
Yep.
But he was definitely a little bit of a different kind of player, where Delaney Walker took a lot of the dirty roles on for Vernon Davis.
100%.
Where George Kittle doesn't need that. He does it all himself. So he is what Vernon Davis and Delaney Walker were rolled up into one package, and then to the nth degree. Yeah, that's why he's one of the best tight ends in football, if not the best tight end in football.
Yes.
So yeah, it's nice having George Kittle on our team, and you see the effects of George Kittle being on the team. The run blocking's better, the pass receiving's better. He opens things up for Deebo Samuel. It's a good situation when the 49ers have their weapons on the field.
James Vega, Vernon made a coach drop his pants.
That is true. that is 100% accurate.
I forgot about that. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Ted Popson or Dwelly. LOL.
Jeez.
Yeah, Ross Dwelly is something.
Hey, he was in there a couple times today.
Ooh, a couple of times.
But he's definitely tight end 3 now. Charlie Warner passed him.
He is 100% tight end 3.
Yeah.
I don't think it's even close anymore.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah. Yeah. Brad Jones. Mitch had his worst punter game of this season, though, letting us Aussies down. He had his worst punting game of the season, and only one bad punt, and that was from the end zone where he put it at the 50, 40, like right to midfield, and it took a bounce. Wasn't his greatest punt of the night, but he had another one from about his 30 that he put at the 10-yard line. So, I mean, I still don't even think it was a bad night for Mitch Wishnowsky. It was still a fairly solid night. He didn't have to do a whole lot of punting either, which is always great.
Yeah, 100%.
True. Biggest off-season needs.
We're talking about off-season right now?
Apparently,
I'm in season. I'm in a playoff hunt right now.
Yeah,
I'm feeling playoff 4-5 49ers, right in track to get in the playoffs. Hey,
only to my brain.
Hey, think about this. If you're one of those teams that are one of those top 4 seeds, you want to see the 49ers make the playoffs?
Heck no.
I mean, Green Bay, they escaped with a 3-point win. They want to see the 49ers, a healthy 49ers?
Nope.
Yeah. I don't think any of those teams will. I think Arizona would love to. I don't think they want to see the 49ers again. The Rams sure as heck don't want to see them again.
The Rams want nothing. McVay wants nothing to do with San Francisco. If he can avoid San Francisco, if they didn't have to play the Niners again later this season, he'd be all for it. He'd be all down for it. The Cardinals, I don't know. The Cardinals feel like right now they have a confidence about them when it comes to San Francisco. I think they wouldn't mind it. I think the 49ers would love another crack at Arizona. So I think if you're the 49ers sitting there going, yeah, we want you one more time.
The question is, where's Arizona going to be sitting at? Because they're probably going to have another week, I heard, without Kyler Murray, without DeAndre Hopkins. They might rest him another week before they go into their bye. So they might have another game that they lose. And if they do, I mean, they're starting to trend on the downward spiral there. As far as getting the number 1 seed.
You're right. They haven't separated themselves. The injuries there to Kyler in the lower leg, the lower half are a concern, and they're being very conservative about it right now because they're looking at this team right now and the opportunity they have, and they know long term if Kyler's not healthy, they're not going to be able to have that success. They're being very cautious with that, which is smart on their part, but it also opens the door for the Rams to come in and jump in and take the lead. And if you're the 49ers, all right, you're essentially now you're 3 games back of the Cardinals. You're 2 games back of the Rams. If you win next week, the Cardinals lose again, and the Rams somehow start losing some more football games, you still have one more game against the Rams. The Rams just have to drop one game that they shouldn't, and they still have a lot of conference games. They got to play Arizona still, again. They have to play the Seattle Seahawks, again, and the 49ers. Those are 3 games that they could lose any one of those games. So the Niners, I mean, listen, that's the division lead is still way
I'm not even thinking about division.
But
I'm thinking about positioning in the playoffs.
If you're the 49ers, the 5th seed is not even completely out of reach yet. It's not gone from your sights. It's still 100% within your sights. It's still possible for you to get there, but you got to take care of business this upcoming week. You got to turn your attention now to, on a short week, right, to the Jacksonville Jaguars and what they got going over there and the Urban Grinders down there in Jacksonville. And you got to get ready to grind yourself. You got to grind better than Urban grinds, and Urban has shown that he's really good at grinding.
Yeah, I bet he drinks a Blondie tonight. Brad Jones with George Kittle's Venom ad or Travis Kelce's Ghostbusters Afterlife ad?
Kittle's Venom ad.
I'm going to take Kittle every time, but I did think Kelce did a better job than I thought. His commercial was better than Sean McVay's
Chunky Soup commercial.
I like McVay, but not the Chunky Soup one. And the fact that he was wearing the freaking headset, I'm like, come on,
man.
What do you think about Montana's comments about Mac Jones over Trey Lance? Okay, I'll start this by Joe Montana is my favorite player of all time, my favorite quarterback of all time. I think he's the greatest, and I want to hear from him about this. I don't care.
You don't care what he has to say?
No, not about this. Well, not about choosing Mac Jones over Trey Lance when Trey Lance has played one game. Like if
anyone that's trying to compare them right now, it's just terrible.
It's also a different situation, right? Trey Lance is coming into Kyle Shanahan's offense. Mac Jones went into a different offense with New England. He's got a different roster. Like this is literally apples to oranges. This isn't the same thing.
No, not.
I know
close.
you want to compare them. Let's wait until we get a full season of Trey Lance starting and then compare it. And if Joe wants to talk at that point, he understands quarterback play. He learned from Bill Walsh. I will listen. But I don't think he's seen enough to be like, oh yeah, I would have taken Mac Jones. I mean,
what have we been saying about Mac Jones? I mean, this is something we've been saying. We've been saying it since the draft. He's the most ready quarterback right now, day one of every quarterback in the draft. You can bring in Mac Jones and start him day one, and he's going to find a way to do things well. He's going to struggle with some things because he's a rookie, but he's going to have the most success out of all the rookie quarterbacks. That's something that we said on draft night. People are like, well, then why wouldn't you want that guy? Because he's Jimmy Garoppolo light. That's what he is. If you have a problem with Jimmy Garoppolo, you don't want Mac Jones because his ceiling may be Jimmy Garoppolo. That may be his ceiling. You traded up to 3 for a younger Jimmy Garoppolo whose ceiling may be Jimmy G.
No.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, you traded up for the guy that can be Patrick Mahomes, that can be Aaron Rodgers, that can be that elite talent. Deshaun Watson, without the back rubs, that's going to take you to the next level, and that's what they're hoping they get with Trey Lance.
Correct. Cowboys get number 1 seed because of the garbage division they play in.
That's a solid point.
It's possible. Alex, are you filming every Madden League game? I am trying to, Caleb. The goal is to try and film every game. I know for sure I'll be filming every one of my games. Drew is capping his on Twitch, and then I'm downloading it off Twitch and re-uploading it on Patreon, and for the channel members, that goes up tomorrow. The first game does, and then I'm also play sharing with you on PlayStation and getting your game screen capped and then uploading those. And then Gerardo, the other member of the Cutback League, I have to just coordinate with him times at work in order to make that work and screen cap his games. But yeah, the goal is to try and get as many of the games up for everyone to watch, so that way they can watch everyone's perspective of the Madden League week in and week out.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. I'll enjoy that. I'll go on there and check it out.
Yeah.
And then JLE's also said Josh Allen. That's a good point. Josh Allen's another one of those guys, right? You're hoping Trey Lance develops into that type of talent, that elite guy that can extend plays with his legs, but has a huge, strong arm that can make all kinds of throws. Yeah, I think that's a good comparison as well.
And speaking of Josh Allen, that's a guy you got to worry about next week with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's true.
Josh Allen,
big number 41 over there, from Kentucky.
He's a dude.
He came out in the Nick Bosa draft, and he was one of my favorite pass rushers in the entire draft. I was very high on him. I think he's a very good player. He's got length, and he hasn't played defensive line very long, so he's still developing. Yeah, we're going to have to worry about him. That's going to be a big question for Tom Compton or Jalen Moore, whoever's playing right tackle.
Yeah. So, I did enjoy this. I missed this earlier. KDR, Caleb Vernon took Mike Singletary to his boiling point. Yeah, that's a good one. It's an absolutely good one.
Boiling point.
If you missed that, you just got to get over to Patreon. You got to get over to Patreon. It's $7, just $7.
That was a good time.
And you can be a part of all of the big yikes inside jokes.
Brad Jones, Jimmy G, time to throw 2.3 seconds.
Holy shnikes.
That's how you have good line protection.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. I mean, the line held up. I thought the line did a good job, but that's elite level right there. Well done. Thanks, Brad Jones, for coming through the content for us.
Great transition. Agreed, JLE. No one has yelled at the mean ocean tonight. I'm proud of you, chat, from Caleb. True.
And Darwin says, I see Mac Jones as a Matt Ryan / Tannehill, good, but nothing special. Sure. I think that's completely fair. And you see Matt Ryan struggles when he has to move.
Oh, man.
I mean, he is slow. Like, Jimmy's not, like, the most athletic guy, but he's not as stationary as Matt Ryan.
No.
I mean, Matt Ryan literally looks like he runs with cement blocks on his
Statue,
feet.
man.
Yeah. Good arm, but, yeah, you can definitely tell. It's crazy. Nice dance moves.
I try my best, man. I try my best. No, but I mean, this is talk about an absolutely like huge need to have sort of win, statement victory for this team. We talked about you needed to get one of two, and you got one of those two. You've now won 2 of your last 3. You're starting off on the right foot.
Welcome to the positive 2 of 3. I like that.
I like it, Ant. Well, you're the one who said it, right? I'm gonna hop on board with it. I didn't get to see the game, but Red, we were exposing the Rams defense. But what did we do? We just ran. We ran the ball.
We ran the ball over 40 times, and Jimmy Garoppolo converted on third downs. At one point, they were 8 of 8 on third down.
Yep.
And it's because they had short third down situations.
Oh man,
they were manageable.
3rd and 5 and less.
Yeah, and you know what though? George Kittle, timely catches. Deebo Samuel, timely catches. Brian Ayuk, timely catches. Kyle Juszczyk, timely catches. It was a complete team effort of execution. They showed up and executed, played a clean game, caused turnovers, won the turnover battle. This is a winning formula for any team in the NFL. If you looked at this blueprint of this game, any NFL team that could execute this game plan will win more games than they lose every single week. In fact, every single year. In fact, they'll probably win double-digit games every year because of it. It's a recipe for success, and if they can duplicate, that's the key. You know what was the whole talk on ESPN? They don't know what their identity is. This team is a team without an identity. Identity just slapped everyone in the face tonight. Run the football, let Jimmy Garoppolo execute on timely passes, get the ball out quick, protect his offensive line, and then on defense force enough turnovers and then rally and tackle underneath, and you win football games. Bingo. Blueprint is in place. Now you just got to go execute against Jacksonville. So you've won 3 or 4.
Absolutely. It's important. Someone asked about the Madden, not the Madden, but the Manning cast. I did not watch the Manning cast. I usually try to watch a little bit of it. But this is just one of those nights tonight where I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm good. I don't need to. I don't want to. I don't need laughter right now tonight. What I need is focus on my team, and that's it. That's where my focus was. As much as I enjoyed those Manning casts, just tonight was not one of those nights where I was going to put it on.
If it's the 49ers playing, I don't want a Manning cast. If it's the any other team, I'll watch the Manning cast.
Correct.
I'm about it, but I wanted to hear what Louis Riddick and Brian Griese had to say. Griese sometimes I think overvalued his own talent because there was one throw he told Jimmy Garoppolo, "You should make this throw outside to Jawan Jennings."
Bro, no,
that was an interception.
It was 100% interception. It was Ayuk. Oh, it was either Ayuk or Kittle that was coming across the middle that he should have went to.
Yeah, and I 100% saw it, and I go, that would have been a pick 6. Brian Griese, that's why you're in the booth right now.
Correct.
Well, I mean, now he's old, but still, that's why. I mean, he used to try to make those throws. That was not a throw. Jalen Ramsey was about to press on that football and take it to the house.
Correct.
Oh, that was scary.
100%. Ayuk blocking on Debo's rushing TD shows you he's all in with his team and listening to the coaches.
100%.
Ayuk did what he was supposed to do tonight, all night long, whether it was short routes, whether it was blocking out in space, blocking in on the interior. Brandon Ayuk is turned a corner. He's turned the page, and that's great for the 49ers. That's great for this offense because that means you can go to him when you need to, and you can rely on him to do the dirty work when no one else will.
And how many receiver drops did we have today? 0. You guys are out there executing. That's what I'm saying. Clean game. This team is more talented than most of the teams in the NFL. And if they play clean football games, they can win. This is what we've been calling for. We've said they haven't put together a full game. They put together a full game tonight, and they dominated one of the better teams in the league. Should be a wake-up call for every team. Everyone knew the 49ers were a sleeping giant. They were just hoping they would never wake up until it was too late. Sorry, guys. They're awake now.
They awake. They ready.
Yep.
They're ready. They're 100% ready, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the second half of the season.
They ran the ball over 40 times and scored 31 points. How many NFL teams do that? Not very many.
Not many.
But that was huge for them. It was absolutely dominating performance. I didn't expect this sort of dominant performance. I expected the offense to come out and execute against the Rams defense, but I didn't expect them to completely shut Stafford down.
It's true. JL, I like this. If you need to talk about Justin Fields, go to a Bears webcast or Jason Naponte.
Jason Naponte does love himself some Chicago Bears.
He does.
Really, it's not Chicago Bears. It's Justin Fields.
He loves him some Justin Fields.
I don't mind Justin Fields.
I don't dislike Justin Fields.
But what was the question about Fields?
Someone had asked earlier thoughts on Justin Fields. That was Light Work. Light Work had asked about Justin Fields.
Oh, I mean,
fine.
We broke him down in the All-22 film. We broke down first and second half. Justin Fields is improving nicely. But there's still a lot of things that he doesn't do. He doesn't make a lot of reads. You can see that he's a rookie that's out there playing. He probably would have been a lot more successful if he'd have been sitting. And if they would have sat him the whole time and Nagy wouldn't have felt the pressure to play him, He probably would, be learning a lot of the mental stuff, but he's getting out there physical. I'm just hoping he doesn't suffer an injury, because
he's taking a lot of shots.
He takes a lot of shots, and he relies on his legs a lot, and that's unfortunate. That's what I'm glad they're somewhat protecting Trey Lance. And I wouldn't even be shocked if some of the knee thing with Trey Lance is the 49ers are like, you know what, completely pump the brakes. We can't lose this guy to other to an injury.
Well, yeah, and this is what I mean. People who were all upset about that game plan and what was going into that game, you have to play to Trey's strengths. And people were like, well, he was a runner in college, but he wasn't that type of runner. I actually saw that take. You can go back and watch Trey Lance tape at North Dakota State, because exactly the player he was at North Dakota State. Quarterback powers, draws, running up the middle, lowering his shoulder, trying to run through people.
Yeah.
That's what Trey Lance kind of is. I mean, that's 100% what his strengths are as a player and as a runner. If you're Kyle Shanahan, those are the positions you want to put him in, because right now that's what he's comfortable doing, especially when he's running the football. You don't want to put him in too many of those situations, because he is a valuable commodity and asset going forward. But you also want to put together a game plan that he's comfortable executing.
Yeah, I mean, in the future, they want to get him to the point where he plays quarterback in the pocket, and then there's 5 situations where you use his elite talent with his legs to try to, convert on a third and short, or in the red zone situation around the goal line. Yeah, those are the situations you want to see him execute in. But you're going to limit those because you want this guy to stay healthy at some point. So he's never going to run to the level that he ran at college.
True. David, did they let Trey play a couple snaps tonight? No, they did not. No, they did not. The most you saw out of Trey tonight was celebrating on first down runs near the 49ers sidelines when running backs were making good plays or guys were making big catches. And I love to see that. I love to see the young man engaged, excited for his team.
He looked fly. He had the red underneath, the red undershirt. It looked good.
It was good. It was clean.
He looked clean.
Caleb, what does Smash Mouth have to do with football? Tonight, the fact that the 49ers were all-stars.
They got that game on.
We're an all-star. Yeah,
they went out and played.
Yep.
Get your game on. Go play.
All that glitter was gold tonight, and all that glitter was gold. The 49ers definitely were shooting stars that broke the mold. That's how that works. It was good, though. It was a fantastic game for the 49ers tonight. It was fantastic execution, top to bottom, getting yourself out to an early lead, controlling the football, controlling the tempo, controlling the pace, and just, basically looking McVay dead in his eyes and being like, yeah, hey, you know what? We're not going to drop back 20, 30 times tonight. We're going to take your strength and this vaunted pass rush, and we're just going to limit it. And you know what? Your linebackers better step up and do some things and make some plays. And they couldn't. And then the best part was the 49ers got themselves into matchups and situations where they were able to put themselves in situations where they had linebackers walking down in space who were going to have to then step out and cover in space. The Leonard Floyd one on George Kittle is a perfect example of that on that third and short, where Kittle just toasts him on that route. He gets the ball, you get the first down, and it's just like, these guys are not designed to be coverage guys. They're not coverage specialists. You have Jalen Ramsey, that's great, but that's one dude, and the 49ers kept putting him in positions where he wasn't lined up on the guy that they were targeting or they wanted to go after. There's only a couple of times that happened.
Yeah, that's what we were talking with Jay Hill about in Faceoff. Yep. If you put Jalen Ramsey in situations where you know what his defined role is, then it's easy for your football team, because then you can just scheme him away from where everything's happening. And you saw that for the most part. They schemed him away from where everything was happening. Only had a couple times where he was in the middle of pass breakups. So they pretty much deemed him useless. And you saw him getting frustrated on the sidelines, throwing his helmet, pushing people. This is what you expect from Jalen Ramsey. I've watched him play for a long time. He's an elite talent, and he's a very aggressive person. He was struggling with the game plan. The fact that the 49ers weren't throwing very much, you heard them. They said this Rams defense is built for the pass. It is. What is their weaknesses? It's in the run game, because they don't have the linebackers that they really need to be successful consistently. And the 49ers took advantage of it. And Sean McVay got out-schemed. He got out-coached. And they were definitely missing Brandon Staley today.
Darwin, is Kyle still on the hot seat? Kyle was never on the hot seat.
Yeah, and according to us, I mean, there's a lot of people that said he was on the hot seat. He's never been on the hot seat for us. I believe that the hot seat wouldn't warm up until after
Trey Lance's
first full season as starting quarterback. So at the end of 2022, if they didn't win football games with Trey Lance as the quarterback, then the hot seat would warm up. But until then, there was no hot seat. And any talk of a hot seat are just people trying to make storylines and trying to make things to talk about.
Got to have clicks, right? Because the team's not playing well, and a lot of these guys can't.
That's where the growth happens for some people, in the negative clicks, yeah.
Oh, 100%. There were a lot of channels that were growing heavy during the 49ers struggles, which is ironically funny to us. Because, they delve into the negativity, right? They submerge themselves in the dark side of 49ers Twitter and the 49ers, Twitterverse and the universe and the faithless. to grow their fan base and grow their audience. And a lot of that is because they don't have the wherewithal, the understanding of the game to really look at film and understand why they're struggling. I don't want to knock them.
I don't think they wanted to see it.
Well, they don't want to see it, number one, but number two, they can't. I don't think they have the capability to, Ant. I mean, you and I watched some of these film breakdowns that some of these people were doing and them trying to talk about the game and what's going on. And some of the things they're saying are just bunk. They just don't exist. They're not there.
Football. Yeah, they're not based in actual football rules and
they're TAFs.
Philosophy.
They're TAFs.
Yeah, 100% they're TAFs. They're people that don't understand football at all. And that's the problem is a lot of times they was always talking about emotion, right? Or it was about like want to. Whenever you hear somebody talking about emotion, want to, going out there and making it happen, there are people that don't understand why it's not happening, right? Oh, Nick Bosa didn't do this because he didn't want it. What do you mean he didn't want it? Have you seen this guy play? He wants it on every single play. So if he didn't made a mistake, it's a technique issue. It's not a want to issue. And anyone that says that doesn't know what they're talking about, turn the channel. So that means stop listening.
Stop listening. Yeah, absolutely. Jose asked this earlier, Ant. Might as well answer it now. Does Aaron Donald know who Debo is now?
Absolutely not. He has no idea. He's still oblivious. And he also doesn't know who Daniel Brunskill is. It's an invisible wall that he can't get through.
You mean Daddy? Daddy Brunskill? Hey, last year, after the second game against the Rams, where Brunskill dominated Aaron Donald again for the second time that season, the memes were absolutely hysterical. The Daniel Brunskill as a dad pushing the stroller with Aaron Donald in the stroller. I was dying laughing. And then coming into this season with all the struggles that Daniel Brunskill has had, it's just one of those things where it's like, man, can this dude really pull this out of his hat again, right? Can he find a way to get this done? And I'll tell you what, man, the Aaron Donald stopper is in full effect. Forrester, find a way to get this guy to channel Aaron Donald's in his head. What is Tommy saying? I'm eating lamb chops tonight. Marketing Pro on Suicide Watch.
Yeah, I was waiting for Marketing Pro.
He's not here. I'm sad.
Earlier in the week, I said he's been hyping up Jimmy Garoppolo, I think in a kind of like a sarcastic way.
Oh, 100%.
And I was waiting for Marketing Pro to show up after the 49ers' big win. I knew he wouldn't. So thanks, Tommy. We really appreciate the $5 super chat. And then also, Caleb brought up the point about Deebo Samuel and his end zone dance celebration, where he lays on his stomach and he kicking his feet. I love it. He's one of those pinup girls. Everyone needs to recognize him. But did you also see the chain? The 49ers helmet chain on the sidelines from Deebo.
It's bad, dude.
Yeah, that was a bad chain.
It's a bad chain.
That ain't no middle of the mall chain.
No, bro. I want that chain now. I really do want that chain.
You can't afford that chain.
I can't afford that chain, Ed,
no.
But I want that chain.
I definitely couldn't. I couldn't afford that chain in like 10 lifetimes. That's a nice looking chain.
It's a nice looking chain. Yeah. That chain is nice.
You have to be able to carry a big weight on your shoulders to have that chain. Debo's that dude. And guess
He's
what?
that dude right now.
You know what's crazy? Debo, you're about to have a bunch of chains because you're going to get paid in the offseason.
100% going to get paid.
Yeah.
100% going to get paid. Should see the meme going around. Trust me, Brad. Not only have we seen that meme, before we went live, we were sent that meme by multiple people.
And Jay Hill sent it from Face-Off.
He
sent
did.
It to us, yeah.
Should see the meme going around with McVay, Kyle's son in a family photo. We've seen it. It is absolutely hysterical. And at this point in time, right now, in this moment, I can say with with certainty, that meme is accurate.
Yeah.
It is very accurate.
I went 100%, Jay Ollie. That chain is a house mortgage. 100%.
Yeah, that's definitely there. Vikings, Bengals, Seattle are teams that can upset 100%. Every game is winnable, but all of those games these are teams that have had moments where they've played really well, and then other moments where they haven't played well.
I'm curious about Seattle a little bit because they're starting to come off the rails.
Just a little bit.
Did you see DK try to sneak back in the game after getting ejected?
Did he try and sneak back?
He tried to sneak back in. It's fantastic. The ref has to go to the huddle. It's like 3 plays later, grab him and take him out. It's funny.
Absolutely. After the touchdown, Debo should have shouted, "My ball, punk." True.
I like that.
It's true. No, but yeah, Seattle definitely. The Bengals have reverted back to the Bungles.
They got some talent, but they're young.
They're young.
Yeah.
This is something we've been talking about. I've been saying that I wasn't willing to crown the Bengals quite yet at the start. It's a team who still, yes, they found their identity, but teams are also starting to figure out what the Bengals are and what their strengths are and how you can, slow them down a little bit.
Well, and you can also run the football on them.
Absolutely.
And you can get after Joe Burrow, and we know Joe Burrow will make some mistakes if you get after him. So
yes.
But
yes.
Yeah, Darwin, I think you're right there.
The Jags can beat us if they grind it out 100%. Caleb, they can. The urban grinders are a real thing. They're really grinding over there.
I mean, there's all the questions about Jacksonville are still real though, because you're gonna have a short week. You're playing on the East Coast.
It's a trap game.
It's not a trap game as much as the circumstances, because you got a short week. You're gonna show up in Jacksonville and have to play a 10 a.m. game.
Tough.
10 a.m. Pacific is never easy. Now the 49ers are pretty successful playing on the East Coast though. It's the game after they do that where there's a little bit of the struggle.
The hiccups, yeah.
But yeah, I think they can go in there and win. They're a more talented team than Jacksonville.
Absolutely. And the Vikings are a team that's been up and down. This is a team, though, that's gotten out to red hot starts and then just hasn't finished. The Niners are the inverse team of that, right? They have slow starts, and then most of the time they have
dominant performances. They're 1-0 in the second half of the season.
And they're 2-3 in their last 3 games. So you're not wrong, Ant.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's who they used to be. Let me clarify. That's who they used to be, right?
I'm having fun with you, Alex.
That's the team that we used to know. There was some team that we used to know.
Yeah.
Why did Metcalf get ejected? I didn't even watch the whole game.
He grabbed the face mask of the defensive player and like completely jerked him, and then they went back at it again and he grabbed him, like punched him in the face mask. So that's why he got ejected. And literally, I didn't watch any of the game. I only watched that part.
Just the highlight?
Yeah, just of that, just to see DK sneak back into the huddle.
David Bender, the payout for betting that Seattle will score 0 that game had to have been nice.
Ooh, I wonder if anyone did that.
I know I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I would have figured they scored at least something with Russell Wilson out there. Darwin Gonzalez, do you think Trevor Lawrence was overhyped, or do you think he still has potential? 100% still has potential. He's a rookie.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a little bit of the weaknesses, but he still deserved to be the number 1 overall pick. He's still got a lot of potential, and he's going to develop nicely. You just hope that Urban Meyer can figure it out and doesn't ruin his development.
That's the big thing.
You have to make sure you have the right head coach when you're developing a quarterback. That's why I like that Kyle Shanahan's the head coach of the 49ers. Because we've seen quarterbacks improve when he's the coach. Jimmy Garoppolo wins football games. Matt Ryan becomes an MVP caliber player when Kyle Shanahan's the offensive coordinator. So quarterbacks he works with develop. RG3 had his best season ever under Kyle Shanahan. That seems like a really good thing to have.
Yeah, it definitely does. And Urban has had a lot of. I have to give Urban some credit. He has had a lot of success with quarterbacks, but that's in college. It's a different monster in the NFL. But one thing that Urban has not been known for with his quarterbacks, Ant, is development of certain traits for them as a quarterback. It's not a skill thing with Urban. No. He's able to elevate their strengths to an extent, right? Tebow's strengths were elevated and highlighted under Urban Meyer. Alex Smith's strengths and qualities as a quarterback were elevated and highlighted under Urban Meyer. But none of those, he didn't necessarily develop these guys to be.
He literally quoted that he is not supposed. It wasn't his job to
get them prepped to play professional football,
to develop their skills. That's not his job. His job is just to use them to
take their strengths, find ways to limit their weaknesses or hide their weaknesses, and bring the best out of them and the team. But not necessarily develop them and get them ready. So that is a concern if you're should be a concern if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. But at the end of the day, Trevor Lawrence's development is going to fall on whoever the quarterback coach is. So it's Urban's job to make sure he's got the right person in place to make sure that person develops. That quote should scare Jacksonville fans just a little bit. It really, truly should. This is coming from a guy who's a big Urban Meyer fan and a huge fan of his, especially when he was at the University of Florida with Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
He did not develop Tim Tebow.
No, he admitted it. He didn't.
And it's very obvious that he did not.
Tommy Huxley says, where has this team been? They've been here. They just haven't executed. It's really been that simple. They just, the plays that they executed tonight, they haven't always executed those in these games. And those went a long ways in losing. Third
downs, we've seen this team drop footballs. We've seen this team turn the ball over, things of that nature. We've seen interceptions and opportunities to turn the ball over, hit the guys in the hands and not,
And we had some of that in the game. They didn't capitalize on all of them. They just capitalized on enough.
And that's what you need. It doesn't have to be 100% capitalization. It has to be enough. You have to capitalize enough.
If it's 100% capitalization, you're just yelling.
It's true. True, Ant. It's true. It's actually a perfect definition of that is what Coach's Viewpoint just said. No give up at all. Man, I'm so proud of this team, the way they fought in this game. No give up at all. 44 runs. Catch my podcast this week, Coach's Viewpoint on Anchor and Spotify. Go 49ers. Definitely go take a look at Coach's Viewpoint. He definitely brings it from that coach perspective, which we like because we do the same thing.
Yeah, I check it out. I listen.
Absolutely.
Give it a gander, so everyone should go check it out. Coach
gander.
Tim, know what you think about it.
A gander, I like
Yeah.
it. Urban Meyer jokes are easier than nope.
Yep.
Nope.
100%.
You're right, Caleb, but
Yep.
I won't say it.
Yeah, that was a Robert Kraft of jokes.
Good old rub and tug.
Yeah,
huh?
just putting your best foot forward.
People helping people. Eh? People helping people. And remember, CJ Beathard revenge game next week. Revenge!
I forgot CJ Beathard was over there.
It's true.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
49ers beat writers forgot, too, that you said CJ Beathard was the best quarterback in camp a few years ago also.
True.
They
true.
definitely did forget.
44 runs is a lot of runs, Coach Tim.
It is. It's a butt ton of running the football. I'm waiting for the calls of, Shanahan doesn't trust Jimmy Garoppolo to come back up again because the last time we saw a 49ers team run the football like this was the NFC Championship.
But he does trust him to throw the football because he threw for 2 touchdowns tonight and
one of them on a 4th and 5.
Yeah. And that throw to George Kittle for the touchdown is still fantastic.
Oh, dude, he puts it in the only spot. Either Kittle's coming down with it or the ball sailing out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, it was nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Just beautiful. Coach's Viewpoint, love you guys. You set the tone for all fans. I'm glad. We're the tone setters.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
It means a lot, especially coming from Coach Tim.
It does.
Yeah.
Tommy Huxley, can we beat the Dookie Newton Panthers?
Yeah, we can. Because guess what? When it comes down to it, Cam Newton still can't throw very well. So you can get him in the pocket. You have to neutralize him. And I know he's going to be working towards being the starting quarterback. I know they said that this week, so he's going to take over.
Schefter said it like 4 times on the broadcast.
Oh, dude, they're super pumped about it. Like, oh, yeah, here comes Superman.
We'll see.
Superman doesn't scare me.
Hey, listen, do I enjoy seeing Cam back in the league and having success? I do.
Why?
Just because I've always
you can get funky attire and weird hats.
I don't enjoy post games with Cam Newton, but I do enjoy his energy. I enjoy his energy.
I was a huge fan of Cam Newton coming out of college.
Still am.
I'm not a huge fan of this version of Cam Newton. I just don't think I don't think he can be a very successful quarterback in the league.
Not right now.
I think we're getting a little carried away because he had a couple big plays in this game.
His first 2 touches were touchdowns.
Phenomenal. They were in great situations to be touchdowns as well.
What? You mean to tell me, Ant, when you're in the goal line, Alex Smith said it perfect on the broadcast, dude, before the game. Right? He's one of the greatest goal line quarterbacks in NFL history.
100%, yeah. 100%. That's
He's not wrong.
And that's coming from a game manager, so you know it's true.
Oh, man. Did we have any injuries this game? It looks like Jalen Moore.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I seen Jalen Moore on the stationary bike. I seen him stretching it out. So I don't know exactly what happened.
True. Yes, and everybody into the Kyle not trusting Jimmy G. Never. No, neither did we. I told you last week, 49ers will defeat Rams 34-13. I was a little off on the score prediction. I like it, Ben.
Ben, that is very close. Well done, sir.
Darn close to being accurate. I called a loss in this game. I love being wrong. Tommy, any 49ers fan, well, I don't want to say any because some of them were saying 69-0, and we saw one that was, like 42-3.
We saw 5-63. We're still trying to figure that one out. 5-63.
I'm still convinced, bro. It was 56-3.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know how 49er fans thought they were going to lose that bad. Like I get people thinking they were going to lose. Like that makes sense. But thinking they were going to get absolutely blown out when they haven't got blown out any time this year, really, that didn't make a lot of sense to me.
No, and it made actually 0 sense.
Yeah,
it was the opposite. But Ben, glad you kept the faithfulness.
Yeah, I like it. I like that a lot. That's
appreciate it.
Thanks for reminding us too, Ben. I appreciate that.
Sure. Yeah. I like it. I absolutely love it. Look, this is huge. This is exactly what needed to happen. Kyle said the only injury was Nor, and it was his knee, but nothing else. So probably
they came out pretty much unscathed versus the Jalen Moore knee. The fact that he's on the bike is probably a good scenario too, Alex.
I would say so.
Maybe hopefully it's not a sprain, so he can play. But yeah, I mean, I think that's good news that we came out pretty much unscathed with injuries.
100%, and it was a great weekend because Madden predicted a Niners loss and was wrong. He was absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
So Madden, keep picking against the Niners.
Well, it just proves that we don't force these simulations, so we just let them happen and see what's going to go on.
I still can't believe there were people that thought we were forcing the Sims to go in the 49ers' favor.
Yeah. Huh?
Like, how? Also, can you show me if you're saying this from a position of knowledge? Tell me how.
I got to point something out. So I don't know if you know this, but Wayne Breezy's been doing Madden simulations
Oh, has he now?
And since he started Madden simulations, the 49ers lost every time he did a Madden simulation. So somebody else ran the Madden simulation this week and said it was in place of Wayne Breezy's, and the 49ers won. So maybe Breezy was the bad luck guy.
Oh, maybe.
How about that? So we can put that on Wayne Breezy, maybe.
Wayne, what happened, bro? I'm going to message him tonight. I'd be like, bro, hey, listen, Wayne, you didn't run the Madden sim this week and 2 things happened, right? The 49ers won and you came back and beat X in the Cutback League.
Well, I don't know. He might have did the Madden sim, but somebody said they put a sim out in his place. So.
Okay, so just whenever you did the Madden sim, you got to do it again.
Yeah.
So if you did it on Sunday, then you have to do it on Sunday. Like you have to keep the same energy because we're totally all about the bad juju magumbo. That's how this works. Darwin, I'm not sold on Jimmy, but hope 49ers continue to win games and make a wild card spot. I'm down with that energy.
I am okay with that, 100%.
100%.
You can have your opinions 100%, but wanting your team to win, I love it.
Caleb, I wore a Macho Man shirt and a Niner hat in honor of the boiling point.
I love it. The boiling point.
The face at the end is absolutely glorious. And I want your score prediction for the next week's game now. Tommy wants it right now, Ant.
I'm ready.
He wants us to spoil the game preview show.
I'll throw a score out there.
All right, do it.
Without watching too much film, I got the 49ers winning 34-17.
I like it. I like that. I'll go 28-13.
And it could change. So Tommy, if you watch the preview show, it could be a different score. When I break down, because I watched a little bit of Jacksonville, that's why I felt a little bit more comfortable. I watched a little bit of their game on Sunday, but I want to get really into it.
Definitely want to dive more into it. The All-22 film this week is going to be absolutely glorious to watch for the 49ers because of all the great content we're going to have. It's going to take a little bit longer for us to get to it because it's going to take 24 to 48 hours for them to get it up, but we'll see what happens. Born good. Hufanga, really looking good. Absolutely. Built on his last 2 weeks' performances in a big, big way. Jimmy Ward out there really helps out a lot with Talanoa Hufanga, with him being in the right spots. Hufanga is definitely way ahead of schedule. And everyone talked about how the 49ers can't draft, man. I mean, look, you can be upset about some of the misses in the first few rounds, but hitting late in the drafts, which the 49ers seem to consistently do, that's not easy. No, I mean, it means you have a good scouting department. They're going out there and making sure they're locating, these talented players. And some of them are coming from smaller schools. Elijah Mitchell, Jalen Moore, going out there and grabbing these guys and getting them on the team, and then they're benefiting the football team. So some rookies are benefiting now. Some rookies are going to benefit in the future. I like it so far. So, I don't have a huge problem with it. I guess my only question with Talanoa Hufanga, right? There are a lot of people calling for Trey Lance needs the game reps and to develop. Talanoa Hufanga looked solid in the preseason. Didn't start and play a lot of snaps until Jaquiski Tartt's injury a few weeks ago, and has looked good since. So did Talanoa Hufanga not develop during all that time where he had practice? I think the misconception is you can improve in practice and game reps do help, right? Both can be true. The thing is we got people saying the only way Trey Lance can develop is if he gets game reps, and that's not accurate. You can also develop in practice. So Hufanga was getting better in practice. He was learning concepts and everything was being able to play more free as he had a better understanding of what he was looking at. So both are true. Do game reps help? Sure. But you also take a risk when you play a rookie like that in those game reps because then you have mistakes, situations that hurt your football team. So it's a catch-22. You want them out there, but you only want them out there when they're ready. So if there's a player ahead of them, you play the player ahead of them. You let them develop in practice. They'll still develop. And they'll get their game reps at another time. Tommy, not only was it Jimmy Ward's first interception since 2016, it was also Jimmy Ward's first interception since his interception early in the first quarter. So he had 2 interceptions. It was glorious. He had his first since 2016, and then he had his first since like 3 drives earlier. Yeah, 100%. That was nice. It was great. David Bender, holy S, is that a real chain he's wearing or just a prop? Real, bro. I think that's real. That's real. It ain't no middle of the mile stuff. Give me that chain. Hey, it's only fitting that Debo has the chain, right? 100%. Yeah. 100%. All right, look, Cutback crew. We've been going for an hour. All right, it's been an absolutely glorious hour. This is a wonderful reaction. Week 10 in the books. Huge win for the 49ers. The fallout from this for the Rams is, pretty devastating for their team and what's going on with them, the injury to Robert Woods, everything else, all the moves they just made, OBJ, really not fitting in just yet, but it's still early. He just got there.
Couldn't expect him to fit in yet.
Von Miller not 100% healthy. That team is going to build off of this, and they're going to try and grow and get themselves to a better spot. But for the 49ers, this is huge. You're now back in 4-5. You're right in the middle and the thick of the playoff hunt, and you're tied for that last playoff spot currently at this point in time.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're the 49ers, everything's trending your way. You got a nice favorable schedule coming up, including a game against the Vikings, which can help you get into that solidified spot in a few weeks. But you have next week, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Urban Grinders in Jacksonville, Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Big, huge game, big opportunity for the 49ers. And Ant, I am looking forward to this, looking forward to everything that is coming this way for this team, this big win, the energy building off of this, and everything we got to look forward to.
It's going to be an exciting week, and we don't have to wait long. I mean, it's Sunday's going to be here before we know it, and 10 a.m. is going to be here before we know it. And we're going to get to watch the 49ers, get another win and go to 3-4 in their last 4 games. And then all the talk about their demise will be greatly exaggerated. Everyone will know it. 49ers will be back and better than ever, and people will start picking up the hype train again. So I'm excited for it. I'm optimistic about the football season. The 49ers are putting themselves in positions to compete. Every single team in the NFC just got their butthole puckered a little bit because they're afraid of the 49ers coming after them. And I would be afraid if I was on their schedule. So Jacksonville, beware. The dogs are coming out. They're off the chain. They're ready to get you.
I did not hear that, Tommy. If Higbee actually called Kittle Butterfingers before the game. If he did, that's funny because he dropped a big fat pass also. And then also Caleb said, is anyone else shocked that Jamal Blitzboy Adams had a pick? Actually, let's give Blitzboy some credit. It was his 3rd career interception, now tying him all time with Vince Wilfork. Thank you, Jay Hill, for that random off-the-wall stat. He now has as many career interceptions as Vince Wilfork.
Who's a defensive tackle?
He is 100% a defensive end, and it is confirmed. It is 1,000% confirmed. This game gives me energy and wings. Red Bull also gives you wings.
I ate wings on Saturday.
There you
or
go.
Sunday. Delicious. Yesterday. Delicious wings, man. So maybe I have to eat wings next week too. Who knows? Might just be a reason for me to eat wings.
Consistency, and
that's
consistency. Right. And Coach's viewpoint, we really appreciate that. You guys are the best. It's the positivity. That's why our team bounced back. 49ers Cutback is the top dog of podcasts.
Ooh, thank you.
Really appreciate it. Tommy, do not hit the dislike button. Don't do that. Hit the like button. We're already at 30 of those bad boys. Hit the like button for sure. Tommy is trolling down in there in the chat. Don't you do it, but share the video with the faithful. Join the Cutback crew. Become a member here on YouTube. You'll get access to the Madden League videos that are going up, as well as a lot of other things here on the channel, early access to videos, things of that nature. Or if you want additional extra content, head on over to Patreon. It's tagged right now. It's the pinned comment here in the comments section. You get a lot of great things, all 22 film breakdowns, 49ers Cutback in times, as long as Big Yikes, which is just going to be fantastic. And who knows, Sam asked earlier, hey, we're going to get a special edition of Big Yikes this week. Well, maybe we're feeling like it. Who knows? I guess time will tell. You'll just have to wait and see.
We'll see. And I just see Born Good said, do you think Josh Norman is too much of a hothead? No, Josh Norman is a dog. And that's what happens. And he's just getting out there and getting after it. And
did you see how high he got on that one?
He mistimed it.
But dude, he still got bunnies.
Yeah, he still got some ability out there. I seen Odell try to run a double move on him, and Josh Norman was all over like, not today, son. Change your hair color. You ain't coming at me with that mess.
True. It's definitely true. It's some interesting hair he's got over there. Darwin, we appreciate that. I like the channel over Grant Cohn. We do appreciate anyone who enjoys the content over here, is enjoying the conversation that we're having.
100%.
And that's what we're trying to do, is have a convo, have a conversation, discuss these things, and trying to come at this different than a lot of these other people, which is emotional, sometimes irrational, very reactionary. Yeah, we have reactions. Yeah, sometimes we don't like the things that we're seeing, but we try and be insightful and reasonable about why. Reasons, right? We're trying to have reasons, actual reasons, and not things like, Kyle Shanahan isn't an entertainer in press conferences. That's not a reason. It's not a reason. That's your personal opinion about what you want out of your head coach. Because apparently for some, and the San Francisco 49ers head coach, the job description is head coach, director of football operations, I guess, as well as press conference entertainer.
Wasn't the example also Sean McVay?
Actually, it was.
Sean McVay did a commercial in tonight's video.
He did.
And then you know what happened? Kyle Shanahan ate him for lunch. So yeah,
he ate him like the chunky soup that he was advertising for.
Exactly. You got what I was laying down.
I got you.
Yeah, so exactly. Kyle Shanahan, I'm perfectly fine with it. I don't care how he does press conferences. He can all day. He can say nothing. He can get annoyed with their annoying questions. I'm okay with all of it.
It's true. Hey, guys, my question to Jimmy Ward about Stafford is going to go viral from the Grant Jimmy Ward interview. You're probably not wrong. You're probably not wrong, Tommy. I remember that. It was absolutely hilarious. Irrational and reactionary. We know. Break it down right. You guys rock. Thank you. Only channel I watch. Let's go. Cutback. Tommy, we appreciate that. Tommy. All of the Tommies, whether it's Tommy Huxley joking about disliking the video when we all know he liked it, or Tommy Christensen here letting us know. And he definitely backed up his talk about Stafford.
Yeah.
Jimmy Ward came out tonight and did what he was supposed to do. He did his thing. He talked his talk and then walked the walk, which is important. The 49ers have dogs again, Ant. They have dogs. They've won 2 of 3, like you pointed out. The power of positivity flowing through our veins. The butt interception, the Sharks' butt interception.
Oh, that was so good.
Should have been.
I believe they called pass interference on Josh Norman on that play.
No, they did not.
Yeah, I believe they said 26. So I didn't get to see it. They never re-showed it, so I don't know.
I hate officials.
Yeah, but that was a great play by Shark.
It was 100% great play by Shark. We're on the way, Cutback crew. We're on the way to 3K. The 49ers are on their way to getting themselves back to 500
playoffs
and getting themselves into the playoffs. You kidding me? Just hope we can win a game.
Well,
playoffs.
Guess what? We won a game.
We've won 2 of the last 3.
We won 2 of the last 3.
2 of the last 3.
Onward and upward, Alex.
That's all we can do. All we can do. The 49ers are in the thick of it. Cutback crew. We'll see you on the next one. And I think it may be time.
It's time. Let's talk another one up.
We'll see you all tomorrow morning. Game recap. It's going to be live. Caleb, how dare you? Boo Browns in the Cutback League, boo.